All right, welcome back to season 6 of our show, and today we're smoking up and cooking up two of our favorite Southern classics, catfish and sausage. Let's show you how to get them done. So right here I have 5 pounds of catfish. This is nice fresh catfish. Now these have been filleted and de-skinned, so there's no skin on here and there's no bones in here because they've been filleted. I got some gorgeous sausage. These are called Sunset Farms, and they're right here in Georgia. And I like to use this sausage, and I'll show you why we use this sausage later on. I'll show you what's very special and unique about this sausage. We're making some slaw with it today, and we got some beans on the side. All right, let's move this off to the side. So right here, I've been taking these lemons, and I've been juicing them in the juicer, just like this. And the reason why I use a juicer, look at that. You get every bit of that lemon right out of there. And you waste nothing. So I juiced up about 6 lemons to 5 pounds of fish. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna put these onto a tray and just get them even. So just like that, you will go and just put them around in any sort of way. But just make sure you got them to the point where you can season them. And now we're going to go in with the lemon juice. So just sprinkle. Get all that nice lemon juice in there. And don't worry about going too hard on the lemon juice, because with this dish you're going to need it. Now we're not grilling these, we're baking these. That's right, I know you heard it. We're baking them. These are going to come out nice and crispy, and you would think these were fried. So for you guys that don't want to fry or think it's not healthy, this is a recipe for you guys out there. I figured I'd show everyone a little bit of everything. So there's something on this channel for not just the fryers, but for the bakers too. So we're not leaving you guys out. If it smells like fish, leave it alone. Because you should not smell anything on fish. It shouldn't smell fishy at all. And if it smells like fish, like I said, leave it alone. And for some reason, the fish takes in a lot of this lemon. So it looks like I have a lot on here, but I really don't. All right, so there we go. There's our lemon. I'm gonna get this off to the side. Here's some seasoning. Now a lot of people go with Old Bay. So I made up a blend myself that's kind of like Old Bay, but it's not. You got your onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, some thyme, oregano. There's a lot of different spices in here, and I suggest you make them yours. And if you read the back of any Old Bay seasoning, it'll pretty much tell you what's in there. So make up your own, and there's no salt in here. If you go to put Old Bay on here, you might have to put a little bit less because of the sodium level, but when you do your own like this, you can really hit it hard. Just turn them over and just repeat. So this is the first half of this, and then we're going to put these in the refrigerator and let these marinate for probably a good couple hours. But I'm going to speed that process up for you today because I'm going on a little bit earlier. I got a smoker right now outside, and that's going in about 250 degrees, and we're going to come back and show you that Georgia sausage and how to get that on there, that Sunset Farm. Made right here in our state of Georgia. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more on here. I'm gonna go in with the rest of the lemon juice. As you can see, all that lemon juice, it pretty much took up all that fish. And we're just gonna rub it right in and let that marinate and all that beautiful seasoning and lemon juice we put in here. All right, we're gonna clean up and meet you right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got our smoker running at 250 degrees for these sausages. We're gonna give you a rundown on these sausages. So this is a sausage that I grew up with. This company's been around since 1918. Family-run business. They've been around for over 100 years. And this sausage came out in 1969. That's when one of the family members decided to come up with this recipe. And it's been in my family ever since we've used this sausage. Sunset Farms, this sausage is top notch out of a lot of the sausages that you're going to use. One thing is this very heavy casing. I mean, this is a casing that you just don't see. I make my own sausages. I just don't put casings to stick on here. I mean, you can really hear a snap through here. They're heavy duty sausages. A lot of people don't know how to cook these. The casing is so thick that they're very hard to chew through. So what do? We have to make this casing really soft. And for you guys that are from Georgia and around Georgia, Florida, well, we're going to show you today how to make these casings nice and soft and tender, that you'll think it was a completely different sausage. All right, out into the cooker we go. 250 degrees, let's get them on. All right, I'm gonna get these on quite quickly. I'm going indirect with these, so they're not directly in the fire. And anytime you do loops like this, you could cross them, put one piece inside the other, just like that. And now you got them away from the fire and you don't have to worry about it. There you go. We'll meet you back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we got that fish inside the fridge. The sausage is out there smoking away. And now we're showing you a slaw, but this is not just any slaw. This is a mango jalapeno, highly addictive slaw. Let's show you how to get this done. So for this dish, you're gonna need a cabbage, carrot, jalapenos, a white onion, a red onion, and this is the star of the show right here, a mango. They're dry mangoes, and we'll show you what to do with those in just a second. So our cabbage, we're gonna take it, cut it up, off with the end piece of it, and just go right through. Now I'm gonna just start with this side, and then flip it, and get my knife in, and then take your knife in the middle, and then go right down. And there it is. Inside, you're gonna see that core. So what do? Take our knife, and go around the core, and just take out the core. Give it a little push off to the side, and your core will come right out of there. Give it a chop. And now you got the core out. So I'm just gonna show you half of this for now. So these are the outer leaves of the cabbage. You don't want the outer leaves. Now, in certain stews and especially Asian cooking, it's a very bad thing to throw away the outer leaves because they do have the most flavor when you're doing a stew. Don't ever throw away the outer leaves when you're doing a stew because that's where all the flavor is. You just take out this core too. And now I'm all set to do what I'm gonna do to this cabbage. All right, so now I'm gonna put these in here for now so I have some room. Now normally, in a southern slaw, you would just take the grater and you would grate this down. I'm going a little different today. Take my knife, thin slices, just like that. Get them as thin as you can get them. This way they're like shreds. Take your cabbage, turn it to the side. And now, just like that, you have your cabbage nice and cut up. All right, I'm gonna put these over here. And now, take the cabbage, once it's cut, come down again. And that's it. That's what the pieces should look like. Just like that. And you're going for a bit of a good bite in there. And they'll kind of go along with this mango beautifully. You know, it's funny. It's all about the texture when you bite into things. That if you have this shredded up too much, and then you got this mango in here that gives a bit of a bite, it's not gonna really go well with it. And everybody that comes over to my house, they beg for this stuff. They say it's very addicting. I make a lot of different salads, but this is one salad that a lot of people ask for that I very rarely make. But when I do, I'll just bust it out during the summertime on special occasions. And it's always a good go-to. So now you guys will have this recipe as well too. There it is. Like I said, no time, you're right through it. So cabbage has a lot of water in it. And when most people make a slaw, they'll put a bunch of mayonnaise in it. And then the mayonnaise gets real watery on them. So how do you stop that from happening? I'll show you right now. So here's all your slaw. what I'm going to do early is put sugar in it. So this recipe does call for sugar. I'm going to go for a couple of heaping things of sugar in here. Make it yours. I guess this is I don't know what cup this is, but I took this out of my whey protein, but that's about it. I'm going to go about there with it. I'm going to make this a little bit on the sweet side. I'm going to give it a stir in with my hands, just like that. Like I said, make it yours. And there it is. So what this is going to do is bring all the moisture out of this cabbage. And it's going to suck in the sugar at the same time. And then I'm going to take out some of that moisture in here before I put the mayonnaise in. All right, so here is my onion. I'm going to slice these. Same thing. And get these finely chopped. I'm going to take them about there and go in with them. Maybe a little bit more. And there it is. So it's mimicking the cabbage. So just get that in there. Then I got the purple. We're gonna go in there with that. This is where I'm gonna stop. And I want the onion in here because I want the onion to release its water as well too. Because onion, when you put the sugar in here, it's gonna release its water. And then now you can take the water out before you put the mayonnaise in. And now you're not going to be stuck with this runny, watery salad. And that's where a lot of people go wrong when they're making a salad, especially a cold slaw. Let the liquid come out first before you put in the mayonnaise. And then you're always going to be spot on. And you're not going to have all this watery, runny mayonnaise. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to cut these onions up. And then we're going to meet you right back here to show you how to put the rest of this meal together. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so now we're ready for the next half of this. So here's our cabbage and our onions. Now I drained off the water that came out of here, and it came on the bottom. So there'll be a little bit more water that comes down here at the end, but don't worry about it. You don't have to drain that off, but just make sure when you put this in here and it sits for about 20 minutes, all that water is going to drain on the bottom, and you'll see it. So drain as much or as little as that you want off. All right, here's our carrot. I'm going to come in here with the carrot, this part of the grater. Just like that. Make it yours. Now at this point, the nice thing about a cold slaw is that you can add anything you want. A lot of people kind of get stuck on making a coleslaw one way, but you can add different ingredients. Cabbage goes along with a lot of different things. And just make these ingredients yours. Switch it up a little bit. And it's always a great thing, especially to go along with different meals. All right, so that's how you would do the carrot. Jalapeno. I'm going to take my knife on the jalapeno. I'm going to cut off the stem just like that. Same thing. I'm going to take my jalapeno, as much or as little as you want. Usually I put 4 or 5 of these in here. And I'm just going to go like that. We're a little light tonight on the jalapeno. I got about 3 more in there. I'm going to pull those out in a second and put them in here, but just like that. And you can see how they just go right down in there. So just like that. And any big pieces that fall off, just put them back through. All right, there we go. See that? You don't even see that in there. It's evenly dispersed. All right, and here is our mango. This is how you want to slice this. I'm going to take it and slice it just like this. It's very thin strips because you want to taste the mango in there. So just like that. And you'll definitely enjoy this one. So that's what we're doing. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this dish right here. This is the mango part of it. And just put them right in. Now these have a lot of sugar in them. You'll find these very tasty. And just look at the texture of these. So just like that. Just take your knife, take your time, You can even put some pressure to the knife and go down. Just get them in. All right, we're gonna finish this up and then we're gonna show you the last part, the mayo. So stick around, don't go anywhere. So our sausage have got enough smoke on them. So what I did was I put them in an aluminum tray. You see that? I'm gonna move them over and I'm gonna wrap them right in that tray. And that is the secret to making that sausage tender with that casing on it. So get them wrapped. They're gonna stay in that wrapping at about 300 degrees. I'm gonna jack this cooker up. And they're gonna stay in there for probably 30 minutes. And that's it. Get them away from the heat, get them covered, just like that. At this point, you could put them right in your own oven. But I'm gonna bring this heat up to about 300 degrees on here, and we're gonna get them nice and tender. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we got that sausage on the cooker. We wrapped it up. Now it's time to finish off this slaw. Let's show you how to do it. So our slaw has released a lot more of its water. See that? So I'm gonna take a bowl, and I'm just gonna spoon out the liquid that's in here. See that? It's a lot of liquid. So I did this once before. I figured I'd show you guys again. This is what gives you a very runny, watery slaw. So just make sure you do this. Get all the water out of there. And it's going to intensify the flavor as well too. So there's all our water. And look how much came out of that. It's a lot of liquid, right? All right, so let's get some mayo in here. I'm just gonna start by putting a whole heaping bunch in here, just like that. Then I'm gonna let off and see where I'm at. So let's mix it. Now, one thing about mayonnaise and slaw, once you start mixing it, just when you think that you don't have enough, you go overboard. So make sure you mix it well. You gotta mix it for about a good minute, like I'm gonna show you. And then you're gonna see it punch and all those nice colors come out. So just keep mixing. And again, like I said, it's real easy to go overboard on the mayonnaise. And just judge it out. And you can always refreshen this the next day with some more mayo in here. So if you feel you're a little light, you can put some more. See, I feel I'm looking right here. It's getting nice and white on me. So I feel we're looking right. And I think I'm gonna call it a day there. I don't think I'm gonna add any more. See, I didn't put a spoon in there, so I can put the rest back. All right, let's get it in the bowl. Watch how pretty it looks in a bowl. There it is. Not gonna go wrong with this slaw at all. All right. Like I said, you can always refresh some more. And that's it. Make it look nice and neat. And then you're gonna just clean up. Let's get a rag and just take a little towel and clean your bowl up. This way you don't have to worry about it while you're serving it. And there it is. And shake that down a little bit. And you could even put a little mango on top and make it punch. But I think that's good enough. All right, into the fridge we go. I'm gonna show you how to start that fish. Don't go anywhere. All right, it's catfish time. Let's show you how to get this done. All right, so right here I have all-purpose flour, 2 cups, cornmeal, yellow cornmeal, 2 cups, and I have breadcrumbs here, 1.5 cups, 8 beaten eggs, and we're gonna show you how to put this catfish together. So this is the seasoning that we put on the catfish. So we're gonna just put a little bit in there, and some in our egg wash, or a little bit more in our egg wash. maybe a little bit more. All right, so now we're gonna stir all this in. So just make sure you get it stirred up. Now I've got 5 pounds of catfish here. If you were going for 2 pounds of catfish, you cut the mixture back. So the mixture will probably be a cup of cornmeal, a cup of flour, and maybe about a half a cup of the breadcrumb. But just feel it out. So we're gonna make sure we mix this up real well. There it is. All right, here's our egg. We're gonna beat those up, put that mixture right in there. And once you get the egg beat up well, I'm gonna add a little salt to that because I didn't add any salt to the egg. Just a touch of salt in there, maybe a little touch more. And the fish you can salt again or salt it after it comes out. All right, so there's our egg. I think I'm gonna go for a little bit more salt in there because I didn't salt my fish. So a little bit more salt in the egg. That's gonna salt the fish. All right, and there it is. We're gonna bring in a baking sheet. I'm gonna put my eggs over here for now. And we're just gonna lightly spray this baking sheet with the aluminum on there. Let's get that off to the side. And let's bring in our fish. So I'm gonna work with our egg and our batter at the same time. Here's the fish. I'm gonna go in with the egg. I'm gonna go right into the dry batter. One hand, dry. Just like that. This way you want plenty of the dry batter in here, the breading. All right, I'm gonna turn it over. So I got that oven going, 375 degrees on convection. Now, for you guys that don't have convection, go 400 on a normal oven, and you don't have to use the convection. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna shake this off, just like that. And then on our pan sheet, she goes. I'll even sprinkle with just a little bit more of that on top. And just repeat and get them all in. And we'll meet you back here when we're done and ready to go in. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're going 375 on convection. That's what mine look like. I'm only doing one batch for this evening, and that's it. All right, get them in the middle of the oven. 20 minutes to 25 minutes. That's all it should take on convection. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we're 10 minutes into this, and we're gonna spray these with just a little pan and rotate them. They're looking right. And give them a little rotation there. There it is. All right, back in. Don't go anywhere. All right, time to pull these guys. And there it is. 10 minutes, let them cool down. We're ready to eat. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we are, season 6's chopping block. Smoked sausage, baked catfish, and a beautiful slaw. Let's show you what we got. Look at that. Would you think that came out of an oven? Probably not. And look at these double smoked sausage. Now from that sausage company, they're smoked. And I double smoked them. And they're very tender, as we'll show you in a second. Look at that slaw. It's pretty, and you can see all of the mango inside there. And we got some beans here that we put in another video. We're gonna show you these again, but we'll leave a link in the description to these beans. So let's get this fish off to the side. And we're gonna bring in a plate and a bowl. So let's get some fish on this plate. So I'm gonna go and grab this guy right here. But I'm using the spatula just because I just don't want this to break on me. All right, look at this sausage. Let's get a piece of that on the plate. And we're big eaters in this house, so we're going with a whole nice sausage here. And then we're gonna get some slaw in here. I'm gonna add some slaw right in the middle here. Right between my sausage and that fish. So this way you get to share a little both of those. All right, a little bit more. And then we're gonna decorate. Let's get just a little greenery on that plate. Just right there on the end. Followed by a little lemon. And that green and that yellow always pop. Simple plate. Now these beans, we made these in another video. These are olives, jalapeno, and red kidney beans. And we're gonna put some right on the side of this fish dish. Just to show you these two. So basically, instead of having fish and American bean style, we took it to another level. Put some olives in here and show you something different. Let's just clean that up. And there you have it. All right, let's get into it. First things first, let's get into that fish. I want to show you the inside of this. First of all, I'm going to show you that you can pick this up. I'm going to just break it. Watch this. See that? And look how flaky that is. That breading with the cornmeal against that light, delicate fish is absolutely fantastic. It absorbs all of the juice from the fish and all the flavor is in there. It doesn't let anything drip onto that plate. It's all in the batter, which is phenomenal. Excellent combination. I like fried fish. I could eat that just as well without frying. That is phenomenal. All right, let's try that sausage. Check this out. Now you guys know this sausage company. Look how tender that is. Now normally, you cannot snap that with a fork and it still holds together, so it's still holding. That's how you want to do that sausage. Now for those of you guys that have been watching this show, you know I make my own sausage, but when I don't make my own sausage, Sunset Farms is the way I go. I don't get paid any money to advertise them or anything else. I'm just bringing it to you guys. And let me know in the comments how many of you guys had Sunset Farms. I'm so used to just having them and seeing them in Georgia all the time that I don't know any place else that has those, so let me know. Let's try that slaw. That slaw is completely off the chain. The mango takes that to an entirely new level. The jalapeno. Most people are used to having that with the relish inside. Just those two little changes make that a completely different dish. It is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend you try that. All right, let's try those beans. Nothing goes better with a meal like this than finishing it off with beautiful beans. Those beans have olives, jalapenos, garlic, onion, also a touch of cumin powder in there, which makes those beans taste very unique. We're going to leave a link in the description to those beans, as you might want to see those. Excellent combination with this entire meal. All right, we're going to get organized and meet you guys right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. One oven-baked catfish an outrageous way to do that. He would definitely think that one was fried. And we parked that right on side of some amazing sausage. Those were Sunset Farms. Hope you guys try that. I grew up on those. And off to the side, we threw down with some lovely cabbage. Mango jalapeno cabbage, which is a must try. Sweet, delicate, and a gorgeous flavor in there. And we can't forget our beans. We parked some lovely beans right on the side of this entire dinner. We're going to leave a link to those beans in the description so you get a chance to see those. See how to make them. See what you think. And like always, we loved having you. And until the next time, gotta get that last Pitmaster taste there.